How do you think graffiti has helped you develop as a person? So,
I mean, graffiti has been my life coach. So it's been a love story, a romance, and um, it's been a sweet experience. And I'm married to the game,
yeah.
So I love this shit, and it's taught me about love, hate, politics,
Mm-hmm.
um, spirituality, self improvement, self care, metaphysical shit. So graffiti has unlocked a lot of different things for me and changed me in ways that nothing else in this world has. Besides watching my kids being born, but
Yeah.
that's it, man.
Okay. What do you think the hardest lesson that you've encountered with graffiti?
I think the hardest lesson that I encounter with graffiti is probably my ego. Um, like as going from a toy to getting up and getting a little bit of fame, your
Mm-hmm.
ego probably expands and probably over expands. And I think everybody gets to that level one point in time where you just think you're bigger than everybody.
Yeah.
So I feel like graffiti is like spiritual, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when we write on walls, it's kind of like sigils or kind of like markings and shit. And when you write that shit over and over, it charges it up. And not only do you charge it up as you write it though, but like every time people see it, they
Mm-hmm.
give power to it. And that transfers that power to you. Kind of like how people worship gods and shit
Mm-hmm.
on that kind of level, but they're not worshiping you on that in that aspect, but people are seeing you. They're acknowledging who you are, that
Yeah.
tag, that piece, and they're giving you energy and shit,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then if you're not uh, mature enough and know how to deal with that kind of energy and shit,
Yeah.
you could and take that in, the adoration, that attention,
Mm-hmm.
that energy that's being sent to you.
Mm-hmm.
You can take that shit in the wrong way
Yeah.
and it'll fuck up your ego and you start becoming, instead of taking that energy and becoming somebody that brings people together and heals and builds,
Mm-hmm.
you start to become this person that starts to destroy everything around you
Mm-hmm.
and become very toxic and shit.
Did you find yourself struggling with that, like an ego? Did you
Oh yeah, of
like a
course, yeah. So like, when you first get fame and people start knowing you and the people are sending that energy and
mm-hmm.
giving you that kind of energy,
Mm-hmm.
it's like fresh jewels that you never had before, so you don't know. So I did struggle with that.
Mm-hmm.
Big ass ego,
Mm-hmm.
talking big shit, doing wild shit, thinking, reacting before thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I lost a lot of friends like that.
Yeah.
A lot of beef started like that. Um, Made a lot of bad decisions like that hurt other people in the graffiti world. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, I was like Kobe Bryant #8,
Mm-hmm.
cocky as fuck,
Mm-hmm.
and then going to prison and getting humbled
Yeah.
and becoming Kobe #24 and shit,
Mm-hmm.
like really more wise,
Yeah.
thinking, more strategic, and really dedicating myself to this craft.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. Have you? Now you said you'd had, with that ego, created a lot of beefs and stuff.
hmm
Have you, like, settled all your
I mean,
beefs from the
I hope
past?
so, man. Like, rest in peace, Digital. Me and him, we got into a fight at Project Blow.
Mm-hmm.
He got drunk and said some wild shit. We ended up fighting
Yeah.
and we beefed for a long time. And that was a beef that really hurt
Yeah.
the Graph game, especially the South Central
Mm-hmm.
community of Graph. That really hurt because I was in my ego, he was
Mm-hmm.
in his ego, and then we could have squashed that and really built some shit
Right.
for
Right.
South Central graffiti
Yeah.
heads and for the game in LA because he was
Yeah.
a cool kid
Mm-hmm.
and he had a big influence on people. So rest in peace,
Yeah.
Digital. He just passed away not too long
Yeah.
ago. But Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, cool. Now you started around 99, 2000 site.
Hmm.
Could you describe like the evolution of LA graph scene then now
I
to
mean,
today?
I think it ebb and flows,
Yeah.
like I think it was at its peak, um, early 2000s. It was popping.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was popping before 2000, like late 90s. It was popping, but it got to
Mm-hmm.
that, it was reaching a peak and then it dropped a lot when they started raiding people back in, '06 and '07 when they were raiding everybody.
Yeah.
Um, but it's getting back to that place again. I feel like the evolution of graffiti, um, it depends on, if we're talking about LA,
Yeah, yeah. I'm strictly talking about LA.
I see less tag banging, you know.
Yeah.
There was a lot more tag banging back then in the late 90s. Um,
Let me ask you something really quick. You said it reached, in your opinion, the height like in '06
I play like the early
or
2000s.
early.
It
Okay.
was a lot of that shit because you got the buses.
Okay. What about just the paintings, like the bombing scene? Because there's a lot of it now.
I mean,
You think it was more then than
nah,
now?
nah, it's about the same. I mean,
Okay.
like, back then people were bombing like crazy back then, and they bombing
Mm-hmm.
like crazy right now. Like back then, you
Yeah.
had Liar from D2C. I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
happened to that dude. Bucket. You had the LTSs doing burners and shit like
Mm-hmm.
that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
they were active and shit. And then fast forward to the day, now you got just different crews, different people doing it. You got
Mm-hmm.
Bud, Scheme. You got MTAs are doing their thing. They smashing No Mas and them. They doing their thing. So it's still. I mean, you look at the Ocean Wide Towers.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
shit's still lit.
Yeah.
Shit's still lit out here.
Because I think like when I was, comparing it to like the late '90s, I think
Hmm.
there's more today than there was. I just see more, I guess, and it's
Uh,
making me think that there's more writers
nah, it's
today. But you think it's about the same now?
about the same.
Yeah.
I mean, it slowed
Okay.
up. It slowed up. Like, uh, it slowed up, but like 2008 to
Mm-hmm.
12, I feel like it slowed up a little bit, but it's back to where it's at, man. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
look at downtown
Yeah.
LA,
Mm-hmm.
downtown LA is smacked the fuck up.
Yeah.
And right now, more than ever, you got people competing for spots, capping each other for spots, and
Yeah.
but it was the same back then too. Um, um, you know, there's a lot, and he had a lot of people bombing. Like
Yeah.
I'm bombing. There's a lot of girls bombing back then too. You got girls bombing like now. Like it just is the same energy is there. It's just the players in the game would change.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure. What do you think about social media? You like it? You a fan of it
I'm not real
or
big. I'm not a fan of social media
yeah.
because for certain people that's what J Cole say. Some people make money and some people make memes. I mean, some
Mm-hmm.
people that's their thing. Like
Yeah.
uh, I mean, people have always been sharing their graph
Yeah.
and their stories through photographs and video.
Mm-hmm.
That's always been happening. Like back in the day, people have photo albums of all
Yeah.
the spots they
Right.
hit and had like VHS little handheld shit of
Mm-hmm.
what they did. We had the War 1, 2, and 3 videos.
Yeah.
We were buying the videos and the skate videos that had the graffiti that would showcase everybody's art. So I think Instagram is just an evolution of the people that do graffiti and show graffiti on Instagram is just an evolution of that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. What's the what's the end game for you? So how long do you see yourself being involved with graffiti?
Man, I see myself doing it until I got no more fingers, man.
Yeah.
I don't see myself ever stopping. I might slow down here and there, but
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm in those streets.
Mm-hmm.
I'm married to the game. When those kids get older and move out the house, I'm out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be Big Drewski out there. Is out there with all the youngsters and shit. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be Big Drewski.
Yeah.
OTR,
Dope.
RTDK. Shout out to Drew.
Dope. 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 Okay. Are there any words of wisdom, man, that you could share with maybe some of your crewmates, youngsters coming up that don't have really, anybody to give them the game?
I would say like if you trying to do graffiti, you new to the game, you don't know shit, do your research. Try to find out if those crews exist. There's a crew, I'm not gonna say the crew. There's a crew right now. They made up a crew, already exists,
Mm-hmm.
and they over here capping everybody and doing all this wild toy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Do your research first before you make up a crew that already exists.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm only speaking to them. They in South Central.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about other crews, but I'm just talking
Yeah.
about them. But I would say like try to find you a mentor to show you the ropes so you can get to keep you out of trouble. Because a lot of these guys that do graffiti, especially the OGs, they don't play.
Yeah.
And I got smacked and fucked up a few times for doing some wild ass shit that I didn't understand. And so I wouldn't want that to happen to someone else. And if you can't find nobody, shit, drop me a DM. Let's talk about it. You got questions? I'll be your mentor. So it won't be like it'll be less conflict, less fights, less bloodshed, and more respect put on these people's names and respect for the elders that came before us and respect for the graffiti guys that have gone past.
Yeah. Dope, man. You're gonna get a bunch of DMs, man.
We gotta do something, man.
Yeah.
We gotta do something.
Yeah. I hear you. That's dope, dog. All right. Are you working on anything, man, that we should be looking out for? Any projects, anything that you want to share with us? Site?
I got a short doc coming out.
Yeah. What's the call?
Love called Love Letters.
Love letters? Okay.
That's being edited right now. That we're gonna start shooting that to different film festivals. I'll drop the trailer soon on IG, social media platforms, and we're just trying to get the story of graffiti and articulate graffiti
Hmm.
on different platforms for different audiences.
What's that about? Just briefly,
I mean,
if you
love
could just.
letters. It just love letters is just about my story, how I grew up, and
Okay.
how I did the time,
Yeah.
and how I love this shit. Like how I'm really love this shit. I really love the
Yeah.
fuck out of graffiti. If I can fuck it, I would.
Yeah.
Um, but I love the fuck out of
Yeah.
it, man. Blood, sweat, and tears, prison time, jail time,
Mm-hmm.
beef.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
So um, and that's one thing we're working on, and I'm working on. We got the spray paint therapy classes for people that want to learn how to decompress and get in touch with their true selves
Mm-hmm.
through spray paint.
Okay. And where can, if people want to find out more info?
They want to find out more info about that, they can just send me a DM.
Okay.
I got that on another account. It's a secret account.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Cool.
yeah.
Um, and I noticed you had a merch
Oh yeah, we got the merch.
website.
Man, we just trying to make clothes for graffiti artists, man.
Yeah.
Like we're a graffiti community. We should be making clothes for ourselves.
Yeah.
Not wearing so much clothes of other people that don't really represent us. So
Yeah.
we should be making clothes for ourselves. So I got a little bit of clothes on the website, www.sitezilla.com.
Mm-hmm.
If you see some shit that you don't like on there, you don't see nothing you want, hit me up. I'll make it for you and we'll sell it. I'm all about making clothes for the community, for the graffiti community,
Yeah.
and supporting our graffiti community and bringing together our graffiti community. We all we got. Like
Mm-hmm.
we got everybody against us. We got the gang members on this. We got the cops on us. We got the heroes, the conservatives. We got everybody is pointing their finger and guns at us, and we got to just come together, stick together, and build. We got the street artists too. The street artists doing that, doing that.
What is that, street artist?
What street art?
Yeah, oh yeah, would you say it now?
That the street artist is not liking us either. So
Oh, okay. I'm
yeah,
sorry. I
yeah,
thought
yeah,
okay. I thought that
yeah.
was maybe the title of a project or
Oh
something.
no,
But
no,
yeah,
no,
okay.
no.
Misunderstood you.
Street art, they're taking
Okay.
up all the space, man.
Yeah. Okay. Dope. Dope.
Yeah.
Lastly, before we get out of here, site, the spot while you got the spotlight on you,
Hmm.
you want to give any shout outs to anybody?
I mean, like, I don't know how to say her name. I think it's Maho. It's Majho. I don't know how you
No,
spell it,
I'm not sure.
but shout
Yeah.
out to her, the homegirl in Venezuela. I want to give a shout out to all the people um that do that do graffiti right now around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to you. If I don't know you, I want to meet you. Be safe out there. Shout out to all the people that used to do graffiti. They want to be out there. They're itching to get out there, but they got to be responsible parents or responsible for something. And we're gonna hold it down and down for you, even though you know you can't get out there. And then just rest in peace to the homies that have died, man. Like Novel, Jackal, Surge, Jail, John 57. I know my boy Net hate that nigga, but who else? It's Smack, BMF, Over, Thor from TCK, Sadak, um, Blake, the Snake from 29C, um, Lear, I think he was from BWI. Um, there's some other people, Triggs, J4F, MSK, came to
Mm-hmm.
my first show. Um, Alec, niggas from my crew that passed, Script, 47er, the most hated motherfucker in LA, 47er, rest in peace. Uh, you know, Ero, OTR, that was the homie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Erie. Oh man, I know I'm forgetting people too. Azure, RTDK, Tess. Um, you know, just want to remember them and do a shout out to them and Digital, of course, RIP. And I know there's some other ones I'm not remembering. And I'll get you on the next run for sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool, man. Well, I think that concludes this interview site.
All right, man.
Again, brother, I appreciate you for coming and
Yeah,
showing
man.
us out
Thanks for
some
having me,
love.
man. Yeah, man.
And yeah, man, stay tuned. LA Chronicles, the Graph Gang.